Close your eyes and imagine a place so impossibly vast that it doesn't just feel like a country, but an entire breathing continent.
We are talking about Brazil. A land of sheer, untamed scale. Larger than the entire European Union. Bigger than the continental United States. When you step off the plane here, you are hit by a physical wall of tropical heat. The rich, sweet scent of ripening mangoes and damp earth, and a vibrant energy that hums in the air like a physical current. But this land of giants was actually put on the global map by a spectacular mistake. Picture this. January 1st, 1502. A crew of sun-beaten Portuguese sailors, salt-crusted and exhausted, navigates their wooden ships past a towering 396-meter granite monolith. They surge into a massive, shimmering body of water. Convinced they have discovered the mouth of a colossal, mythical river, they eagerly name it Rio de Janeiro, the January River. But there was no river, just a magnificent deep water bay, Guanabara Bay, framed by jagged peaks that seemed to touch the sky. It was a beautiful misunderstanding, a grand illusion that birthed one of the most iconic cities on Earth. And that is the true spirit of Brazil. It is a place that constantly defies your expectations, a land where nature and myth collide. On this cinematic journey, we are plunging headfirst into a world of peerless biodiversity. From the dark, flooded canopy of the Amazon to the jaguar-ruled wetlands of the Pantanal, we will lose ourselves in the electric, dizzying chaos of pulsating metropolises like São Paulo, and stand on the edges of colossal canyons and crystal-clear lagoons that defy human imagination. But to understand the soul of this giant, we must first leave the coast behind, feel the plane climb over the green peaks, and then, this is Brasilia. A futuristic mirage that shouldn't exist. A space-age city born from raw, uncompromising ambition, dropped right into the middle of absolute nothingness. To truly understand this place, we have to travel back to the late 1950s. Imagine a wild, empty savanna. No roads, no water, no electricity. But President Juscelino Kubitschek had a daring vision: to unite a divided nation by shifting the capital away from the coastal bubble of Rio and straight into the geographic heart of the country. He tasked two legendary minds, urban planner Lucio Costa and the master of curves, architect Oscar Niemeyer, with an impossible mission: build a brand new, ultra-modern capital from scratch in just 4 years. It was a mad, feverish race against time. Yet, through the sweat of thousands of migrant workers, they pulled it off. In 1960, Brasilia was officially born, a living monument to human willpower. Now, look at it from above. It is absolutely mind-blowing. The city isn't laid out in standard messy grids. It is shaped like a colossal airplane, or a giant bird taking flight, symbolizing a nation soaring into the future. As we drive down this endless strip, you are surrounded by towering minimalist structures that feel more like giant sculptures than buildings. There are no traditional intersections here, no traffic lights to break the flow, just smooth, looping curves designed to keep life moving. This grand axis brings us straight to the heart of Brazilian democracy, the Three Powers Plaza. Here, the executive, legislative, and judicial branches stand tall in bold glass and concrete palaces. It is a stark, beautiful balance of power that looks completely otherworldly. But the absolute crown jewel of this futuristic wonderland has to be the Cathedral of Brasilia. From the outside, it looks like a white, hyper-modern crown rising directly out of the earth, formed by 16 massive, curved concrete columns. You walk down a dark underground tunnel, and then the space explodes with light. You emerge into a breathtaking, circular nave flooded with vibrant shades of blue, green, and turquoise stained glass. It is a deeply spiritual experience where heavy concrete somehow feels completely weightless, suspended in the sky. As the sun begins to set, the dry plateau sky transforms into a dramatic canvas of deep orange and blood red. To escape the heat, we head toward Paranoá Lake, a massive artificial reservoir created to bring humidity and life to this arid region. And as darkness falls, we launch a drone over the water. There it is, the Juscelino JK Bridge. 3 giant, graceful steel arches leaping across the lake like a stone skipping over water. At night, illuminated in brilliant golden light, its reflection shimmers across the dark, glassy surface, a perfect fusion of nature and cutting-edge design. It is the ultimate symbol of a city that dared to dream of tomorrow. But as the golden light fades over the concrete arches of the capital, a softer, wilder rhythm calls us south. We pack our gear and catch a quick domestic flight. As our plane descends, the flat, dry horizon suddenly gives way to a sprawling ocean of rolling green hills. Welcome to Belo Horizonte. Step off the plane, and the air immediately hits you. It's softer, warmer, carrying the rich, buttery scent of fresh pão de queijo baking in a nearby market, mixed with the crisp, earthy breeze coming off the mountain peaks. This is a massive planned metropolis, yes, but it doesn't feel cold or concrete heavy. It feels alive, cradled in a lush, emerald embrace. To find the heart of this city, we head straight to the Northern District, to a place where art, nature, and water collide. This is the Pampulha Artificial Lake, and standing right on its grassy banks is a sight that will stop you dead in your tracks. Behold, the Church of St. Francis of Assisi. Before Oscar Niemeyer designed the colossal palaces of Brasilia, he experimented right here in the 1940s, throwing away every traditional rule of architecture. Look at those radical sweeping curves, a parabolic concrete roof that mimics the gentle, organic slopes of the hills around us. On the exterior, those iconic, deep blue and white tile mosaics shimmer in the intense tropical heat, reflecting the brilliant sky and the glassy water of the lake. It is bold, elegant, and completely revolutionary. But as you stand there, soaking in this mid-century masterpiece, you realize you aren't alone. Hear that gentle rustling in the grass? Look down. Just a few feet away, right at the water's edge, a family of giant capybaras is lounging lazily in the sun. These massive, peaceful creatures are completely unbothered, basking in the afternoon glow right beside one of the world's most famous monuments. It is the ultimate Brazilian contrast: high modernist art and wild, raw nature, living side by side in perfect, effortless harmony. Yet these playful giants are just the beginning, because deep within these emerald mountains lies a city frozen in time, built on a foundation of pure, blinding gold. We wave goodbye to the Capybaras of Pampulha, climb into our rental car, and turn our wheels south as we drive deeper into the interior, climbing steeply into the jagged, iron-rich mountains of Minas Gerais. The air gets cooler, crisper. The green hills turn sharper, more rugged, and the sweet scent of wet pine forest and wood smoke fills the cabin. And then, like a colonial mirage frozen in time, she appears, clinging precariously to the steep slopes. Welcome to Ouro Preto, the legendary city of black gold. Step out and take a deep breath. These labyrinthine cobblestone streets are so impossibly steep, they'll make your lungs burn. Inhale. Do you smell that? It's the rich aroma of slow-cooked garlic, fresh pão de queijo, and strong espresso drifting from the open windows of whitewashed colonial houses. Feel the slick, uneven stones beneath your boots, and hear the echo of phantom horseshoes that once carried vast fortunes and treasure down these very paths. In the 18th century, this was the absolute epicenter of the world's greatest gold rush. A chaotic, wealthy, and dangerous frontier carved directly into the mountain face. Look up. Dominating the misty skyline are 13 spectacular Baroque churches. Monuments to the unimaginable wealth extracted by enslaved hands from the dark, suffocating mines beneath our feet. Walk up to the nearest church portal and run your fingers over the intricate, swirling sculptures. This isn't ordinary stone. It's local soapstone, steatite, buttery soft to carve, yet incredibly resilient against the fierce mountain winds. If this unique, velvety rock feels familiar under your touch, that's because decades later, sculptors would use this exact same soapstone to shape the outer protective skin of Christ the Redeemer himself. As the afternoon mist rolls over the terracotta rooftops, and the ancient church bells begin to echo through the deep valleys, you can almost hear the ghosts of the gold seekers whispering in the wind. But the very stone that shaped this golden empire holds the key to Brazil's most iconic coastal giant, a place where mountains, myth, and music collide in a dizzying tropical dream. We trade our mountain keys for a seat on a long-distance tourist bus, leaving the chilly highlands of Minas Gerais behind as we descend toward the Atlantic. Watch out the window as the rugged iron hills slowly flatten, replaced by swaying palms and a sudden thick wave of tropical humidity. Welcome, my friends, to Rio de Janeiro, the marvelous city. Step off the bus and immediately feel the bass of samba vibrating in your chest. We begin our assault on the peaks, climbing straight up the jungle-choked slopes of Corcovado. Stand here, at the very top, beneath the colossal, outstretched arms of Christ the Redeemer. The wind up here is wild, whipping around a silent stone giant that keeps watch over a staggering clash of human concrete and raw nature. From one peak to the next, we board the historic cable car, soaring high above the waves toward Sugarloaf Mountain. Beneath our feet lies a towering 600-million-year-old granite monolith, a geological survivor guarding the entrance of Guanabara Bay. Take a breath, look down at the deep turquoise waters, and trace the sweeping golden curves of Copacabana and Ipanema beaches, alive with beach soccer, sun-bronzed crowds, and the endless roar of the surf. But Rio isn't just a postcard beach. It's a living, breathing contradiction. Step into the cool, shadowed avenues of the Botanical Garden, founded by fleeing Portuguese royalty back in 1808. Here, over 6,000 rare tropical plants breathe a quiet stillness into the chaotic city. But look up, past the lush canopy, clinging precariously to the steep granite cliffs, are the favelas. To understand Rio, we must understand how these communities were born. In 1897, soldiers returning from the brutal Canudos War in Bahia settled on a hill they named Morro do Favela, after a resilient, thorny scrub plant from the dry backlands. They waited for government payment that never came. They built homes, and they never left. The sun begins to set, painting the peaks in deep crimson and gold. But away from the neon lights and the thrumming bass of the city lies a wild, offshore sanctuary with a dark, prison-bound history that time has desperately tried to forget. We slip away from Rio's fading neon glow, trading the roar of city traffic for a local bus winding south along the emerald curves of the Costa Verde. Soon, we're standing on the wooden docks, boarding a small boat that cuts through the salty spray. Ahead, rising from the Atlantic like a sleeping prehistoric beast, is Ilha Grande. As the humid ocean breeze hits your face, it's hard to believe that for nearly a century, this breathtaking island was a fortress of silence, a place of absolute dread. Step off the boat at Vila do Abrão, the island's solitary gateway, and just listen. There are no cars here, no roaring engines, no asphalt. Just the crunch of white sand beneath your boots, the gentle lap of the waves, and the thick, sweet scent of tropical blossoms and wet earth. Beyond the village, the jungle closes in with absolute ferocity. This is a massive 193 square kilometer sanctuary where granite peaks scrape 1,000 meters into the clouds. As we hike deep beneath the dense canopy, look up. You might spot some of the 15 species of primates swinging through the branches, or hear the rustle of life among over 1,100 unique plant species. Eventually, the humid trail spits us out onto a hidden shoreline. There are over 100 secret coves tucked away here, where massive granite boulders guard water so clear you can see the shadows of stingrays gliding over the sand. And yet, just across these sparkling waters, another secret waits on the mainland, a town where the streets are washed clean by the tides of history itself. We step back onto our boat, leaving the quiet sanctuary of Ilha Grande behind, cutting across the sparkling bay to the mainland, where the Emerald Mountains crash directly into the sea. And then, we arrive. Welcome to Paraty. Stepping into this town isn't just a change of location. It's like stepping through a tear in the fabric of time, slipping straight back into the 1700s. Breathe it in. That's the rich scent of sea salt, damp old wood, and sweet sugarcane spirit drifting from cozy taverns. This magnificently preserved colonial port was once the absolute center of gravity for the Brazilian gold rush. It was right here, on these very shores, where fortunes in raw gold, mined deep in the mountains of Minas Gerais, were loaded onto heavily armed Portuguese ships bound for Lisbon. But watch your step. As we wander into the historic heart, you'll feel the rough, uneven wobble of the giant cobblestones beneath your boots. Notice the absolute peace here. There are no cars allowed, no roaring engines. And look up at the sky. There are no modern power lines, no ugly electrical poles to ruin the illusion. Just flawless, whitewashed walls, framed by doors and windows painted in brilliant blues, reds, and emerald greens. But Paraty's most magical secret is written in the stones themselves. Look closely. The streets were ingeniously designed in the 18th century to sit slightly below sea level. Twice a day, as the moon pulls the Atlantic, the high tide gently overflows into the town. The clean seawater creeps through the canals and streets, naturally washing away the dirt of the day before quietly slipping back out to sea. For a few hours, the entire town becomes a shimmering, liquid mirror, reflecting centuries of colonial history. But as the seawater retreats from the historic stones, the ocean calls us further east, to a place where the water turns a shade of blue that defies the laws of nature. We throw our bags into the back of our rugged rental car, leaving the flooded, historic colonial stone streets of Paraty behind, and point our wheels due east. We're tracing the winding coastal highway, bypassing the high-energy, dizzying pulse of Rio de Janeiro as we head toward the easternmost tip of the dramatic peninsula. The air begins to change, turning crisp, salty, and wild, until the asphalt finally gives way to a hidden paradise that looks like it was painted by a romantic artist. Welcome to Arraial do Cabo. Prepare yourselves, because the moment you catch your first glimpse of the ocean here, it will stop you dead in your tracks. It is a blinding, hypnotic shade of turquoise, so impossibly bright, you'd swear we've somehow taken a wrong turn and ended up in the Caribbean. But this isn't the Caribbean. And that mind-blowing color is actually a masterpiece of oceanic science. It's driven by a powerful phenomenon called upwelling. Deep beneath the surface, freezing, nutrient-packed waters traveling all the way from the dark, icy depths of Antarctica collide with the Brazilian coast and are forced upward from 300 meters down. When you step into the surf, you'll feel a sudden, spine-tingling shock of cold, a brisk 13 to 18 degrees Celsius that instantly wakes up every cell in your body. But open your eyes underwater, and you are floating in pure liquid crystal. Those deep-sea nutrients fuel an absolute explosion of life. Just look down. Even from above the surface, you can clearly see the majestic, dark shadows of giant stingrays hovering over the ocean floor, graceful sea turtles drifting effortlessly beside you, and pods of wild dolphins leaping through the sparkling, sun-drenched spray. And the magic doesn't end at the shoreline. Bordering these pristine waters are colossal, wind-swept dunes of dazzling, snow-white sand. They rise up like silent, frozen waves, shifting slowly under the warm Atlantic breeze, creating a stark, dramatic boundary between the dry earth and the infinite neon blue of the sea. But while these icy blue waters clear the mind, the true fiery spirit of Brazil lies northward, in a city of drums, rebellion, and a deep Afro-Brazilian soul. We leave the chilly turquoise waters of Arraial do Cabo behind, head back to Rio, and board a quick domestic flight northbound, heading straight into the tropical, sun-drenched northeast. As the cabin doors open in Salvador de Bahia, you are instantly hit by a thick, heavy wall of humid heat and the unmistakable, intoxicating scent of dende palm oil and sea salt. Welcome, my friends, to the beating Afro-Brazilian heart of this nation. Founded in 1549 as Brazil's very first colonial capital, this legendary city is dramatically split into two distinct worlds, perched on a massive 85-meter escarpment. To get between them, we step inside the iconic Art Deco Lacerda Elevator. As this soaring public cabin sweeps us upward from the bustling port of the lower city, the doors open to the upper city, revealing a jaw-dropping panoramic view of the sparkling, deep blue waters of All Saints Bay. From here, we wander into the Pelourinho, a dazzling, UNESCO-protected labyrinth of cobblestone streets and pastel-colored, gold-drenched Baroque churches. But look closer at these beautiful facades, because this historic district carries a heavy, solemn soul. This very ground was once the largest slave port in the entire Americas, where over 1 million enslaved Africans were brought ashore. Yet out of that unimaginable pain, an unbreakable, joyous culture was born. Today, the streets pulse with a vibrant, defiant energy. To end our day, we head to the very tip of the peninsula, where the iconic black and white striped Bara Lighthouse rises above its ancient stone fort. As the sun begins to sink, the sky erupts into brilliant shades of violet and gold, catching the water on both sides of the peninsula at once. But as the sun sinks beneath the Bahian waves, we turn our backs on the coast and head deep into the ancient, sun-scorched canyons of the interior, chasing a roar that will shake you to your core. Leaving the ocean breezes of Salvador behind, we load up a rugged, dust-caked 4x4 and head west, driving deep into the sun-scorched, mountainous heart of Bahia. Slowly, the tropical coast fades, replaced by massive, flat-topped plateaus that rise like ancient fortresses from the earth. Welcome to the jaw-dropping wilderness of Chapada Diamantina. Chapada means a region of steep cliffs at the edge of a plateau, and Diamantina pays homage to the wild, 19th century diamond rush that once drew thousands of hopeful prospectors to these very canyons. Today, the diamonds are mostly gone, but the real treasure remains. This colossal landscape has been carved and sculpted by hundreds of millions of years of relentless wind and water, leaving behind a surreal labyrinth of deep valleys and towering stone walls. As the air grows cooler, we set our sights on the ultimate adventure, the legendary Buracão Waterfall. The thunderous roar ahead echoing off the stone. Towering before you, 85 meters high, Buracão plunges with violent majesty into a deep, circular basin. It is raw, thunderous, and absolutely mesmerizing. Before we leave this ancient highland, we look further west, catching a glimpse of Pico das Almas. Rising 1,958 meters into the clouds, this jagged peak belongs to one of South America's oldest geological formations. Up here, quartzite spires pierce the mist, wrapped in a silent, otherworldly landscape. But from these rocky heights, our path takes a wild, surreal turn to a place where the mountains turn to sand and a desert fills with liquid emeralds. So we leave the rocky heights behind, catching a quick internal flight north to the wild state of Maranhão. Welcome to the Parnaíba Delta. This is the only open sea delta in the Americas, a sprawling, untouched wonderland of over 70 wild islands. As we glide through the labyrinth of channels, you can feel the heavy, humid air and the rich, earthy scent of the mangroves closing in. Look around. The sand is constantly shifting, pushed by relentless ocean winds so that what was a low island yesterday is gone tomorrow. It truly feels like navigating the uncharted edges of a forgotten map.
But we push even further, the engine roaring as our tires grip the loose terrain. And suddenly, the green forest vanishes, and the world turns a blinding, dazzling white. The Lençóis Maranhenses. The name literally translates to the bed sheets of Maranhão, and standing here, you quickly see why. It is an impossible, dreamlike landscape of towering, pristine white sand dunes, sculpted by relentless Atlantic winds, stretching as far as your eyes can follow. But here's the real magic. This is not actually a desert. Between January and June, torrential tropical rains flood this region. And because of a secret hidden deep beneath the sand, a dense, completely impermeable layer of rock, the rainwater has absolutely nowhere to go. Instead, it pools, creating thousands of crystal-clear, freshwater lagoons in jaw-dropping shades of vibrant turquoise and deep emerald green. Imagine plunging into that cool, sweet water, feeling the dramatic contrast against the baking sun on your skin, surrounded by nothing but towering dunes. As the dry season returns, these fleeting paradise pools will slowly shrink and vanish, only to reform in entirely new shapes when the rains return. But this shifting landscape is only a prelude to a remote coastal sanctuary, where the streets are made of stardust and a buried town rises from the wind. We leave the blinding white sheets of Maranhão behind, climbing back into our rugged 4x4 for an epic, adrenaline-fueled race along the wild, sun-drenched coastline of Ceará. The engine as we tear across miles of trackless beaches, salty ocean spray stinging our faces, before plunging directly into a roller coaster of towing, wind-whipped dunes. Our destination is a legendary, sun-drenched sanctuary once completely cut off from the rest of Brazil. Welcome to Jericoacoara, the lair of the turtles. Step out of the vehicle and feel the incredibly soft, warm sand pressing between your toes. There is no asphalt here. Only shifting sand streets winding between rustic beach lanes. By day, the adventure continues. We trek along the dramatic coast to Pedra Furada, a towering sandstone arch carved by the relentless Atlantic waves. If you are here in July, a fleeting miracle happens. The setting sun aligns perfectly within its hollow center, like a golden eye beaming across the water. And as twilight approaches, we join the quiet daily pilgrimage up the massive sunset dune to watch the sun melt directly into the open ocean. But the fierce wind is calling us even further, whispering secrets of a place shaped by tragedy and triumph. We push our 4x4 west, to the isolated village of Nova Tatajuba. In the 1980s, the relentless dunes marched forward, completely burying the original village under a mountain of sand. Undeterred, the resilient families rebuilt, creating a new haven. Today, this remote outpost is a world-class kitesurfing mecca. Twice a day, the tide rises, flooding the flats into a perfect, shallow lagoon with constant, powerful trade winds. Watch the vibrant kites dance against the blue,
and sink into a hammock strung directly in the cool waters of Lagoa da Torta.
Yet, even the endless dance of wind and sand cannot prepare you for the ultimate frontier, the deep, dark heart of the world's greatest living mystery. We wave goodbye to the windswept sands of Ceará, catching a quick connection through Fortaleza, and boarding a flight deep into the continent's interior. As the plane descends, the endless blue of the Atlantic is replaced by an infinite emerald ocean of trees. Stepping onto the tarmac in Manaus, you are instantly hit by a heavy, suffocating wall of equatorial heat. And the rich, earthy scent of damp soil. This bustling metropolis of 2 million people is our gateway. But first, we explore a surreal relic of the 19th century rubber boom, the majestic Teatro Amazonas. Standing before its lavish dome, imported brick by brick from Europe, you can almost hear the ghostly echoes of opera stars performing in the absolute heart of the wild. But the river is calling. We board a local wooden vessel, pushing off into the colossal Amazon basin, which holds a staggering 20% of the world's river water. Soon, we witness a mind-bending natural phenomenon. Right here, the tea-dark, acidic waters of the Rio Negro collide with the pale, muddy currents of the Rio Solimões. For miles, they run side by side, a sharp, dividing line of black and tan that refuses to merge. Run your fingers through the water. Feel the temperature shift dramatically between the two currents. As dusk falls, the forest awakens with a deafening chorus of frogs and nocturnal birds. Along the muddy banks, the orange glowing eyes of caimans reflect our lanterns, silent prehistoric sentinels waiting in the shallows. Gazing into this infinite canopy, hosting nearly 400 billion trees, you feel the sheer, humbling weight of its survival. While science has dispelled the myth of the forest as our lungs, its true power is far more critical. This is the ultimate carbon vault. If these trees fall, if the burning continues, the balance of our world tips forever. But today, the standing forest still breathes, a massive, mysterious shield protecting us all. But as the primeval forest falls silent, a different wild kingdom beckons. A vast, flooded plain, ruled by the ultimate apex predator. We wave goodbye to the deep shadows of the Amazon forest, boarding an internal flight south from Manaus to Cuiabá, the gateway to a completely different, sun-drenched, wild world. Welcome to the Pantanal, the largest tropical wetland on Earth. A massive, untamed basin covering nearly 200,000 square kilometers. It's a land of extreme seasons. From November to March, the rivers spill their banks, drowning up to 80% of this landscape under a vast inland sea. But as the dry season takes over, the waters recede, leaving behind a hyper-concentrated paradise of life. Look at the riverbanks. Those aren't logs. Those are caimans. Part of an unbelievable population of 10 million sunning themselves snout to tail. Right beside them, giant capybaras, the world's largest rodents, graze lazily, while massive green anacondas silently weave through the hyacinth-choked shallow. The sheer scale of life here is dizzying, a living, breathing safari where animals rule the earth. But we are tracking a ghost. The Pantanal is the absolute best place on the planet to spot the legendary jaguar. Between 4,000 and 7,000 of these magnificent cats hunt here, and they are bolder, larger, and far more visible than anywhere else. We drift down the quiet river, the boat engine dead, the humid air clinging to your skin. We leave the dry savanna of Cuiabá behind, boarding a flight heading south, leaving the quiet wetlands of the Pantanal for the tri-border region of Foz do Iguaçu. The moment we step into the surrounding jungle, the air feels different. Thick, humid, and charged with a strange electrical energy. But nothing, absolutely nothing, can prepare you for the sound. It starts as a low, rumbling hum, a deep, primal vibration that travels up through the soles of your shoes long before you even see the river. Welcome to Iguaçu, big water in the ancient Guarani tongue. And my friends, that is the understatement of the century. Spread out before us is one of the most staggering natural wonders on Earth. A colossal labyrinth of 275 individual waterfalls, stretching across nearly 3 kilometers of wild, jagged borderland between Brazil and Argentina. This is a landscape where water doesn't just flow, it completely conquers. We step onto the wet wooden footbridges, suspended directly over the rushing currents. The spray immediately hits us, a heavy, cool mist that feels like a physical force, soaking our clothes and leaving our skin tingling. We push forward, closer and closer to the edge, until the world disappears into a blinding white shroud. Look down, directly into the Garganta del Diablo, the legendary Devil's Throat. Here, the river plunges 82 meters straight down into a colossal U-shaped chasm. The sheer volume of water crashing into the abyss is mind-boggling, throwing a perpetual cloud of mist hundreds of feet into the air, fracturing the sunlight into brilliant, dancing rainbows. It is deafening, majestic, and absolutely terrifying. Just a short drive from this wild masterpiece, we find a very different kind of titan. The massive Itaipu Dam. A sprawling monument of concrete and steel, one of the largest hydroelectric plants on Earth, proving that human engineering can also bend the raw power of these rivers to its will. Yet, as we stand drenched in the spray of this natural titan, we must face one final colossal giant. A human hive of steel and glass that dominates the southern hemisphere. We board our final domestic flight, leaving the thundering mists of Iguaçu behind. Our wings tilt northeast, heading toward the beating concrete heart of South America, São Paulo, Guarulhos. As we descend through the clouds, prepare yourself. Stretching out as far as the eye can see is a titan of glass and steel. This is São Paulo. With 12 million souls in the city limits and 22 million in the metro area, it is the largest megacity outside of Asia, a colossal metropolis that simply defies scale. Look out the window. Below us, the iconic Ponte Estaiada, the Octavio Frias de Oliveira Bridge, carves its asymmetrical arch and fan-shaped cables against the modern skyline. Just beyond, the endless canyon of Avenida Paulista pulses with relentless energy, the financial spine of the nation. Yet, right in the middle of this concrete jungle, we spot a vast green lung, Ibirapuera Park.
390 acres of tranquil lakes and canopy, breathing life into a city that literally never sleeps. It's a place that lives by its bold motto, Non ducor, duco. I am not led, I lead. But as our international flight preparing to take us home taxis onto the runway, a quiet realization settles in. We've journeyed from the emerald depths of the Amazon to the windswept dunes of Lençóis Maranhenses, from the thundering canyons of the south to the historic soul of Salvador. Brazil is not just a destination. It is a living, breathing force of nature. And it's a place that refuses to be understood through a screen. You cannot truly feel the spray of Iguazu, the warmth of the coastal sand, or the deep rhythm of samba through a speaker. It only reveals itself when you actually show up. So, pack your bags, get out there, and live it for yourself. Before you go, tell me which of these incredible places captured your heart? Where is your dream Brazilian adventure starting? Drop it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this massive journey across Brazil, please do us a huge favor and smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more epic adventures around the globe. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible ride. We've got a beautiful planet out there, so keep exploring, keep pushing your boundaries, and keep discovering the wonders of the world. But before you click away, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment down below and tell me, which spot in Brazil are you most excited to see in person? Or, if you've already been, what was your absolute favorite memory from your visit? And most importantly, what country should we explore for our next big documentary? Let me know in the comments. Thank you again, guys, and see you in the next video.